Hello, world of Twitter. We probably haven't got any numbers yet, but you can go back and watch this bit if you haven't watched it. We are joined today by Toby. It's been a while, my friend. How are you?
Hello, yes, doing well, thank you.
Good stuff. And we are also joined by the Red Seagull 92, also known as Dan. How are you, my friend?
I'm all good, thanks, mate. All good.
Good stuff, good stuff. So yeah, it's been a while since we've done this sort of setup. We released a vlog after West Brom. Myself and Tom went to the Hawthorns. Really good day out. Not the best game of football, but we won it in the end. Another 98th minute goal from Neil Maupay. That's his second one of the season, so we'll take that. Albeit extra time, but you know what I mean. But yeah, that was a really good day out. We vlogged it. It's on our YouTube channel. If you haven't watched that yet, go over to Albion Obsessed on YouTube. Give it a watch, give it a like, and
It's a
just tell
must
us what you think.
watch. I'm telling
Whoa,
you, I'm telling all of you,
yeah,
it
must
is a
watch.
must watch. It was a quality video. It's like it came straight from a top tier football YouTuber. I think Joe is
Oh,
making a name for himself out there.
oh, bless you, bless you. Yeah. As Toby says, a must watch. So yeah, go over and give that a go. And hopefully we'll be doing one tomorrow as well for the Palace game. So dependent on how that game goes, it might be a good vlog. It might be an absolutely depressing one. So keep posted. And yeah, we'll see what we do. Um, Dan, was you at the Hawthorns? I don't know if I saw you up there.
No, I wasn't there.
No, you watched. Did you get to watch it on TV or a dodgy stream somewhere?
I think I watched it via the soccer special. I think.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
fair enough. Cool. What a depressing way to watch that game. I bet you was just like, how are we not scoring against West Brom? And yeah, to be fair, as I said, they didn't do anything. We didn't do anything. I don't think Sherpen had a save to make. I think all he did was pick the ball out the back of the net. How did you view the game? Have you seen the highlights since, or?
I've watched some of the highlights. I think we should have really had the game done pretty much before they even scored.
Yeah.
But as per usual, we had the hard task of getting the ball in the net. Unfortunately, um, obviously
Yeah.
when they scored, and it was sort of like, oh no, I'm not gonna have one of these mares at Hawthorns again. Then the red card, and then everything came up. Obviously, then after all that, everything was fine. So
Yeah,
everything
exactly
was all
that.
good.
As soon as the red card happened, as you said, the game completely flipped. Toby, was you watching the game or how was you following it?
Yeah, I managed to get the first half, and then my dodgy stream stopped working. So I think it was probably like 2 minutes into the second half or something. And then once I saw that we conceded, I just thought, do you know what? I probably shouldn't turn it back on. And I couldn't find one back working anyway. But
Ah,
having watched the highlights, and I'll tell you how I felt during the game. I felt, it's a classic Brighton performance, no goals. It's classic Brighton. And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, Brighton are always going to be like this. We're never changing.
yeah,
Even in the cup, I like the cup. I do like it, and maybe in the past I didn't like it when we were on the promotion push, but
yeah,
now I like it because if you're not going to be a team that goes down, but you're also not going to be a team that gets Europe, it's one of the highlights of the season, to be honest. So
yeah,
I was hoping for a good performance, which I think it basically was without the goals.
yeah,
But then we turned a page, and I think this is something we're starting to see more and more from this Brighton team, is that we
yeah,
do turn that page, and I think it's been a long time coming. I think if you ask any Albion fan under Graham Potter, this sort of performance has been a long time coming against Palace in the 90th minute, Southampton in the 90th minute. These are goals that wouldn't have happened in previous seasons. So to take a win from that situation, I really think it's credit to how Graham Potter has got the mentality of the squad ticking the right way. because,
Yeah.
as I say, I think it would have been, oh, it's just a cup game, we'll give up on it in other seasons. But no, we once they got the red card, we knew what we needed to do, and we did it. And again, props to that man, Neil Morpay. I don't know how many times I have to apologise at this point, but you know, I'm absolutely buzzing. We're through to the next round. It's a bit of a tough draw, but I do think that Tottenham won't be up for it. I think that they are probably going to be focusing on the league, because there is an outside shot for any of United, Arsenal, and Tottenham to get top four. You know, West Ham always have the capability of dropping, so I do think it's going to be a weaker squad from Tottenham. I say, why not throw the kitchen sink at it, get some of our big boys in there, and let's go play ball.
Yeah, exactly. And our odds will be slashed even more to win the cup if we knock Tottenham out on the way there. So let's go for it. Let's go for a lovely run to Wembley, like we did a few years ago. You mentioned about the mentality, Toby. I absolutely love it in this squad. We've seen it multiple times this season. They just don't give up. They know exactly what to do. They know the game plan. If things aren't going their way, they don't get flustered, and you just love to see it. Yeah, as you say, really good mentality, and we got the job done in the end. Toby, we are joined by your friend Pete, who you said about. So I will just introduce him to the stream now. Hello, Pete. How are you doing, my friend?
Hi guys. Hi Joe. Hi Toby. Hi Dan. Nice to meet you. You can hear me okay? I take it.
Yeah, we can hear you fine.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
I just wanted to
good.
check. But
All
I am
good.
still working, by the way. I got invited to join the podcast. I was like, oh, I'd love to do it, but I'm working till 5:30. But I'm doing both at the same time, so I do apologise. I've been listening to Toby talking about the West Brom match and sort of the going forward in the FA Cup. I think he's absolutely right. I think it's going to be really, really interesting playing Spurs. The Spurs team this season aren't the Spurs team of seasons gone by. I think it's going to be a very, very interesting game. I've been looking at Twitter today, getting back. Apparently, if there's extra time and penalties, which apparently there will be in round 4, apparently it's a 2:00 get home for Brighton fans.
That's what I said, Toby. That's what I said, mate.
I mean, that's only if there's extra time and penalties, though, right? So you're cutting out about an hour. So between midnight and 1, I reckon. Without that, I reckon.
To be fair, I'll take it. If we do Spurs on penalties and I get home at 2:00, I'll be a happy man. I'll take it. So yeah, good stuff. Pete, are you a season ticket holder or?
I was a season ticket holder until about 4 years ago. I had to make some changes at that time. I'm hoping to get a new season ticket next season. I hope to be back next season. But I'm, a big Albion fan. I watch as many games as I can, whether they're sort of on telly or whether they're on streams. And I'm very, very active on Twitter. I make my opinions well known. And I think, this is. I'm frustrated with a lot of fans this season because a lot of people are still whinging and moaning. But I think we've got a cracking squad. I would say we're 2 players short of being really, really clear of those relegation places and clear of the bottom half of the table. I think we're a striker light, and I personally think we're still missing someone in the attacking midfield sort of creative area. But I think we've got a superbly solid defence when everyone's fit and firing. Big Bob Sanchez is going to be massive. He's going to be one of the biggest goalkeepers in the world in the next 5 years. And I think we're the way that if we can hold on to Dan Ashworth, I think we've got a massive chance of becoming a really, really big player in the Premier League in the years to come. And I'm very excited by it, but we just need to get over this barrier of not signing a striker.
Yeah,
that's
exactly
my opinion.
Yeah, it's utterly frustrating, and as you say, fans make their frustrations known quite a lot on Twitter. Divide opinions left, right, and centre. But I think you're absolutely spot on with what you've said. You mentioned Bobby Sanchez. We've been huge Bobby Sanchez fans on this podcast this season, and definitely last season. I was a huge fan of his. So you just love to see it. It's great. You gave me a nice little segue there, Pete, because just before we came on air a couple of hours ago, Dan was dividing opinions on Twitter. He's got a little statement to read out to us about what he thinks of Tarek Lamptey. So Dan, I'll let you take it away, my friend.
basically, I thought when I heard the news that a certain player became available, Nico Williams. Um, what I said was that I thought that he'd be a decent option to have in the squad, and that because as Tarek Lamptey doesn't really do a whole match, I thought he could be a perfect option to be the second player on top, even have in a game where you can basically put him on the bench, take that to the bench, have Nico Williams play, and then bring him on when the game sort of slows down. Obviously, that's what I said in the tweet. Obviously, I'd expect it to somebody else, obviously, but that's my premise for that little opinion. I don't know what everyone else thinks of that, but obviously,
Have Liverpool said
that's
whether
what I
it's
think.
for? Have Liverpool said they're happy to sell or loan? What's the deal with it?
I think what I saw was that they said they're willing to listen to offers for him. I think most of the loan. I thought if you just put him in there for the rest of the season, then Tarek can have a sort of chance to put him up to full strength to next season, have hopefully to go through a whole game rather than basically do bits and pieces.
Something that
I,
sort of bothers me about that is what message that would give to other teams that are in for Tarek Lamptey, like the Man Uniteds, the Liverpools, Tottenham's,
Yeah.
Arsenal, etc. They would be saying, well, he's not starting. He's not the first name on the team sheet because for me, Tarek Lamptey is always the first name on the team sheet. I don't know about you guys. But that would for me say to them, look, he's available. We don't use him that regularly. We use him as impact. Come in for him and offer us your money because if somebody offers us £50 million for a player that sits on our bench waiting to come on and change a game, because you never know how a game's going to go. So Neco Williams could be playing top level, incredible football, but we all know Tarek Lamptey is not worth just sitting on the bench. So that's the issue I have with that. Toby, you was about to say something just before I chimed in.
I do have a bit of a problem with that. I understand exactly what you're saying because as teams' legs get tired, you bring him on, he's gonna explode them. You know what I mean? But I think he explodes them anyway. So you start him in a game. I can't even put a number to the amount of times that Tarek Lamptey's bombed past the left back and the left back's got a yellow card or been twisted up in an injury or something. You know what I mean? He causes so much problem. And I think the fact that you get a defender on a yellow card that early or you force fouls and stuff, I think it's too important for us to say, oh, we'll leave that on the bench because you could always get an extra 5 minutes of him. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if you started him and then even if you have to bring him off in the 60, 70 every game, maybe by that time our game plan should be that we should already be winning and then bring on a more defensive option like Veltman. I don't see the value in getting a right back on loan at the moment. I think we've got good cover there. Veltman performed really well there, remember, when Tarek Lamptey wasn't fit.
As has Dan Burn as well. I mean, Dan Burn's done a good job at right back when he's had to fill in on occasion. So I can't see. I mean, I don't know enough about Neco Williams to really pass comment. Can he play centre back as well? Because he'd be a useful utility player across the back if he can.
No, I think he just
I have no objection. Then, I mean, Tarek gets targeted a lot in games, so it wouldn't. If Neco Williams was prepared to come to Brighton, knowing that he was going to be a bench squad player that will come on in the event of Tarek getting tired or getting injured, then yeah, I don't see any problem with it. But I don't think coming from Liverpool, I still think we're not as big enough club for him to be able to accept that. I don't think. I think he'd want to be starting. He's high-end Championship, low to mid-end Premier League, so I can't see him being prepared to take that sort of step backwards. Well, or stay as a club. He might as well stay at Liverpool and do the same job.
Yeah, exactly that. And I just think Tarek Lamptey is held in a much higher regard than to be given that job. I mean, it could be a job that he relishes. We don't know. You know, I'm not Tarek Lamptey. I'm not in his head. And I'm also not a football manager. I don't know how players are managed, etc. But you would imagine, obviously, the fact that Tarek Lamptey can't play full games is because he's come back from a very, very lengthy injury. And yeah, I'm sure Graham Potter has it in his plans to, one, keep hold of him for sure and have him as his main man, and two, build those minutes up and as I say, have him as the first name on the team sheet. But you know, when you're talking the likes of 50, 60 million pounds for a player, yeah, for me that option just, if it was a player like Bruno, Shilotto, you know, players of the past, I would be all for that. And if they had more pace and didn't really give much to the team, I would be saying to you, Dan, yeah, absolutely, that's a great option. Bring a little bit of pace off the bench, but because it's Tarek Lamptey, no, it's a no from me.
Do you know what else I'm going to say though? Because we're talking, Joe, you're talking about Tarek Lamptey as if he's an asset that we need to build so that we can sell. If we're serious about being an established club and we're serious about wanting to go top half, potentially looking at Europe, right now the club needs to come out, new Basuma contract, 5 years on the table. No Aston Villa. There's nothing to do with Aston Villa. Tarek Lamptey, Bayern Munich are interested. Bring 100 mil or leave, mate, because that's a big player for us, and I'm telling you, he's going to be one of the best right backs in the country in 5-6 years' time. And whether he's with us or another club, I have a feeling he's going to be playing in Europe for the rest of his career after that, because he is a modern fullback. He's just so good. Like, it's hard to comprehend. But we need to be a serious. Like, if we're being stupidly serious right now, we need to keep those sorts of players if we want to be the big club that we want to be. And I know a little bit of a cash injection is good, but Ben White's a perfect example of the players you should sell, because he wasn't integral in our team. He was a good player that was young. I do think, however, that if Real Madrid or Barcelona or something come knocking for Bobby Sanchez, which I think they will, I think he will eventually go to Spain, then that will be a good asset to sell for 30 to 40 million. I do think he's probably not going to be that high in price tag, but it depends how long we keep him for. That's just because of the goalkeeper value. But
I think what we've done as a club, though, with the behind the scenes work, so with Dan Ashworth and Paul Barber, and even going up to Tony Bloom himself, you know, getting the right people looking for the right players. You've got John Morling, who's the head of youth development. Is John Morling still with us? I can't remember.
Sure.
We've got a fantastic under-23s training setup. We've got a conveyor belt of talent that's going to be coming through in the next few years. Ostergaard coming through. We're going to have Evan Ferguson coming through at some point. You know, we've got players that are going to be able to replace. And I think Shel Sherpen's going to be a really good asset to Brighton in the next couple of years, whether Bobby Sanchez goes or not. I think but we've got the players behind them already. So we're starting to build that almost like a portfolio of backup players who, again, are going to come through and become big players in the future. The guy that we've signed recently, Kasper Kozlowski. I mean, I'm a big Football Manager player. He's a beast. Every single Football Manager save I've played, if I haven't signed him, he's gone to Chelsea, he's gone to Bayern Munich, he's gone to Milan. He's gone to a big club. I think we've absolutely stolen him from the club he's come from. I can't pronounce the name of the club, Pogron something or other. I can't pronounce it, but we've absolutely stolen him, and I think he's going to be a phenomenal part of the club for years to come. He's going to ultimately replace Basuma and it's not an if, it is a when Basuma goes for big money. I'm hoping he doesn't go to Villa this. I mean, he's not going to Villa, is he? Let's be honest.
No.
But yeah, so I mean, that's my opinion. I think we've got we've put into place the building blocks. Now we need to keep Dan Ashworth. We actually have to keep him. I mean, Newcastle are very, very keen on him, and I really hope we keep him because we've got the backup in place. We've got the setup, the boot room, if you like, that Liverpool had in the 70s and 80s. We've got this conveyor belt of talent that are going through USG and then go through the training and development setup at Lancing. we've got that, and we just need to see it blossom now. And I think we need to keep the best players for another 2 or 3 years, and then we're going to start reaping the rewards from that.
I wouldn't
Yeah.
be so sure on Basuma. I wouldn't be so sure. You all seem to nod your head and be like, no, he's not going. Yeah. I wouldn't be so sure. Aston Villa wanted Coutinho within a week. They got him. Aston Villa wanted Dean within 2-3 days. They got him. If they want Basuma, they're going to get him.
Villa are spending obscene amounts of money, and they seem to be, I mean, for want of a better word, they're spunking money left, right, and centre. I mean, with Coutinho coming in, was it Lucas Digne signed from today?
Yeah.
Yesterday. You know, I mean, they've spent the best part of £400 million in the past 3 seasons.
They've got incredible spending power, and this is what I mean. With the fact that they've just got Coutinho and Digne, I'm telling you, if they come for Basuma 18 months on the contract, Brighton aren't going to say no. He's going to go, and it'll be at a low price because he's only got 18 months. I think Tony Bloom would be happy to get rid of him for 30 to 35 million at the moment, which would be a travesty.
I have to be honest though, I still don't see Villa as a forward step in his career. Not the forward step that I would expect Basuma to be making. I feel that he's better than that. And I know there's probably going to be Villa fans that see this and go, "You what?" It's true though. Even though they've spent this £400 million and bought these worldly players in, they've ruined them. Look at Leon Bailey. Leon Bailey, before when he was at Leverkusen, he was known as a world-class talent. He had the pick of any club in Europe. And he went to Villa, and he's been bang average. I've got to be honest, he's been terrible. Wesley as well was touted as the next big thing, went to Villa, died.
Even Danny Ings isn't doing that much there.
Yeah.
Not as much as he should be.
I'm sorry, but if I was the chairman of Villa and they've pumped £400 million into the players into players in the past 2-3 years, I'd be questioning where that money's gone because they're just it's not. I mean, they're doing okay. Don't get me wrong. Steven Gerrard's had a great start, but they're still not a massive improvement on Brighton. I still don't see them as being a club that Basuma will automatically go, yeah, I'm going there, unless they're waiving huge amounts of money. But I think they've got quite a tight spending structure in terms of wages over there. So
the problem is a club like Aston Villa has got I don't know how to put it, but it's a fake vision or project that for some reason certain niches of players seem to get behind, as if Brighton aren't a better project. But it's just because we don't go around speaking about it all the time, and we don't waste money on big marquee signings. We go for tactical, the right positions, the right times at the right prices, and then you see, oh, actually that was part of the project. I just think that if a club with this fake vision or fake project comes calling, it looks too good on the tin for someone like Basuma to say no with 18 months of his contract left. And I think they can offer a better deal than we can, because at the end of the day, they seem like they have much more money than us. I don't know how. They've been in the Championship for a little while, and it's still annoying that clubs are able to have that sort of power over us. But
on the other hand, though, Basuma seems to believe in the project we've got here. He seems very. I mean, if you look at his social media, you look at the videos he posts up. He's out and about in Brighton. He's interacting with fans. I saw a great video of him in the marina a few months ago, just chatting to kids, and he clearly believes in what we're doing here. He gets the project. He gets what he's doing, and he's loved here. And is he going to go elsewhere to a place where he's not going to have that? It's a bit like Knockout a few seasons ago. He went off to Fulham. Different set of circumstances, obviously, but he's never been the same player since. And I just question whether he goes to Villa and becomes part of a bigger system, or whether he stays at Brighton for another couple of years, becomes world class, which we know he's going to be, and then goes on to Man United, Real Madrid, wherever.
Yeah.
The problem is
this is just it. Sorry, Toby, just to quickly put my 2 pence worth in. The problem is, and what I always find slightly irritating with fans sometimes, is that they think they know what a player's going to do. They think they know what a club's going to do. End of the day, we have no idea what goes on behind those closed doors. I don't know how a football transfer works ins and outs. I don't know what the agents say. If Villa do come in, I don't know how serious Brighton are in keeping Basuma. If Villa do come in with a huge offer, who's to say that Brighton don't say, hold on a minute, you are and will be our best player for the next 3 seasons. We want to keep you here. Here's the offer that you want. Stay here where you are happy, as you mentioned, Pete. He does look happy. He's never come out against the club. He's never said anything that's belittled us as a football club. And why not sign another 4 years on with Brighton, and then I don't know, maybe in 2 seasons' time, when he has broken through as self-proclaimed the best midfielder in the Premier League, and Chelsea come in for £90 million for Basuma, then I would not stand there and begrudge him of that move. But Aston Villa, I think we can still compete with them. I know they're throwing money. I know that they've got in Coutinho, they've got in Digne. Digne was throwing his team toys out the pram at Everton. He didn't want to be there anymore. Completely unhappy. Coutinho, obviously, at Barcelona, who are having all sorts of financial issues left, right, and centre. So he's going to go to a club that can pay his wages. Basuma, it's a completely different story. As you say, Pete, as far as we know, he is happy at Brighton. And yeah, I say, why not compete with Villa and throw a new contract on the table and say, stay here, Bis.
When you look at it though, and I'm not sure if I've got this wrong just because of how it feels in my head, could be some sort of Mandela effect BS, but when I think about it, our top players always get the contract nice and early. I'm talking Lewis Dunk, I think, gets one every 2 years. And that renews it for an extra 4 years.
Yeah.
So the fact that Basuma is down to 18 months left, does it not worry you? Because, you know, that time will dwindle away, and then it could get to the point where he's signing a pre-contract with Liverpool.
It does worry me a little bit. But as you say, 18 months. We're in January now. I know we're in a transfer window. He's gone away on international duty. Who's to say that Brighton aren't drafting up a contract right now when he gets back to sign it for another 4 years? We don't know that.
Who's to say that Brighton have drafted up a contract for the last year that he's been rejecting constantly?
Well, exactly.
As Joe says, I mean, there's so many variables. I mean, it could be we've been trying to offer him a contract for the past year, and he said no. It could be that he's been screaming at Paul Barber wanting a contract. We as fans don't know that, but all I know is 18 months. I mean, I would say we've got another good 6 months before we need to be really concerned about.
I get that, but the worry is that Brighton normally tie up their contracts really early, and this is out of the ordinary, especially for a player of his caliber, because you can guarantee yourself an added 30 million onto the transfer if he does go, if you start getting to sign a contract now. Dan, sorry, you look like you had something you want to say.
Yeah, I was just going to say was obviously anything that I've seen of Basuma is that he's happy. That's all I've ever seen. I honestly think that I think it's probably something to do with himself wanting to keep his options open, possibly. Because obviously at the moment, he's been touted as one of the best midfielder probably in the league, and he could be thinking to himself, if I hold out as long as I can, so I say a 12-month period, so obviously in the summer, whereas everybody would be looking at the best players like United, Liverpool, all those sort of teams. They could be like, well, if a £50 million bid comes in for me for then I can literally be like, right, I'm in the Champions League. Yes, I think that's something else that I think has been touted as well, that he wants next part onto his journey as a footballer is to be a Champions League player. So I think that's probably what he's doing. He's probably seeing what his options are, maybe in the 12-month period, and he can sort of put his head through the door and go, I've heard United are in for me. Is there any chance of this happening? Or, I think it's probably something to do himself.
The problem there is I don't think the club are going to be that lenient with him. I know, obviously, he's a huge player for us, and we should be doing everything we can to at least get him to that next level, even with us, because me and Toby joked at the start of this podcast that we're going on a European tour and all this. We should either be saying to him, actually, Biss, we've got as Toby said, a really exciting project here at Brighton that in the next 2 seasons we can be playing Europa League football. I know fans of other teams will look at me and laugh at me for saying that, but it's true, because the project we have here at Brighton with Graham Potter and the players we're bringing through, as Pete mentioned, so many players out on loan that are coming up to be the next best thing. We could be such a strong side in the next couple of years, 2-3 years. I guarantee you, we will be knocking on that European door. And who's to say we're not selling that to Biss? But as we say, we just don't know. And if a Champions League club does come in for him, and he's got 12 months left on his contract, the thing is, it's not going to be a £50 million bid. They're going to be offering 20 million. Yeah, 20, 30 million, which will be an absolute travesty for us to be letting him go for that amount of money. So it is a problem that has to be wrapped up very soon. And it would be nice as fans to know, but we're not going to know. Agents are going to be in Paul Barber's ear, in other clubs' ears, Champions League clubs, Europa League clubs. We just don't know. So yeah, we'll just see what happens and how that pans out, I guess.
Yeah.
We are also, guys, I'll just say we are also joined now by Aaron on his lunch break or dinner break.
Muted.
How are you?
Hello.
Aaron, you're muted.
He's muted.
How are you, boys?
I'm all right, mate. How are you?
You okay? Yeah, all good.
Yeah, good.
All good.
Good. Just in time to talk about Palace then, mate.
Oh, that's
I know
always
you've
a fun
been itching.
subject.
I know you've been itching to say some stuff about this. So we'll get onto that in just a minute. We're just talking about Bissouma, Aaron. He's got 18 months left on his contract. Obviously,
He has, yeah.
linked to Aston Villa at the moment for a £40 million deal. Let me get my words out.
£40.
£40 deal and a packet
I'll pay that,
of crisps. The £40 million deal, Aaron. What do you see with the situation with Biss? Do you see him signing a new contract with us? Us standing in the way of him possibly trying to get a move to the likes of Liverpool? What's going to happen?
To be honest, I think it's going to be one of those ones where, with everything that happened towards the end of last year with Biss, that I think we delayed giving him a new contract personally, just to see the outcome of what's happened. He's a fantastic player. He's been absolutely brilliant for us. There's absolutely no doubt in that. I still wouldn't accept anything below 60 mil for him still, even though he's got 18 months. Even next, sort of when his contract is like into the last 12 months, I still wouldn't accept anything less than 40. I know I heard £20 million thrown in there before I joined. I just think he's just too valuable for us to let him go any cheaper than that, in my opinion. Villa. I think Villa are thinking they're bigger than they are at the moment. They're just spending money like it's going out of fashion. But I don't think Villa would really attract him, to be honest. Like, they're not that far ahead of us. If it was a step up to, say, Liverpool or even an Arsenal, no, actually that's a lie. Even a Chelsea or a City, then fair enough. Then take the money and give him an opportunity to play Champions League.
Can I just say, can someone tag AFTV in that clip? Brilliant.
Please don't do that.
Aaron, you don't know what you're chatting about, fam.
DT's coming for you, blood.
Yeah.
That's fine.
I hope Brighton get relegated.
But yeah, that's my opinion on this situation. I think it's one of those where, with everything that happened towards the end of last year, we hung off a little bit to see what happened. If we give him a new contract, it will be the highest paid player at the club. It has to be, I think. But if we don't, then it's very silly if we don't, and a very dangerous game if we don't.
I don't know. I think Lewis Dunk could have something to say about that, but
I think so.
I think so.
But we will wait and see. We'll wait and see.
I think Lewis Dunk would understand, to be honest. I think, as Lewis Dunk said himself, he wants to be a one-club man now. He's too deep to have a match highest earner clause, surely.
I think he's gone. So. Lewis realistically has gone past the point of going to another club. At his age, which is now 30, 31, something like that. I think he's
I could
at
see
the point where he's not going anywhere other than maybe the MLS at some point.
Yeah, he's not going up, but I could see him going like across. Like for example, if like Burnley or something lost some of their best players, I feel like they would probably at some point.
Are you on drugs? Mate, what are you?
Burnley. Sorry, Toby. Hold on, Dan. Your opinion on Lamptey isn't that bad anymore. Lewis Dunk
Let me
Burnley.
explain myself.
That's an awful take.
Come on,
mate.
Come on, mate. Not this season, but let's put it this way, right? Let's say this year we do the miracle. We get Europa Conference League. Europe catches up with Lewis Dunk. He starts maybe not being as fit as he was before, especially after this injury he's had recently. 2 years' time, you could be looking at Lewis Dunk leaving not of his own accord, but of our accord. And I wouldn't want him to go, but I would wish him well because, as you say, he's getting older. Bruno, would you still want Bruno playing for the club now? At 40 years old?
He's like 100% circumstances.
This isn't players lose their prime. I'm sorry, I love Lewis Dunk as much as the next guy, but players lose their prime, boys. And I'm saying, if a championship club, Burnley probably. Let's say they need a centre back, and we've got like I don't even know who we've got. It's just a better player at that time. You never know. We have Webster. Let's say we bring White back. Dunk might not even get in the team anymore. Do you know what I mean? We're not far away from that.
Dunk will end up being another Noble at West Ham. Even if he's not playing every single game, he will stay with the club to the end of his days now. There's not a dimension out there that would enable Lewis Dunk to go to Burnley.
He's not a Brighton fan. He's not a Brighton fan. He's a Chelsea fan. There's nothing. He loves the club, I'm sure, because he's been here so long. We've paid his wages so long. He grew up in the area, but there is absolutely nothing. If we say to him, look, mate, we don't really want to pay any high wages for you. You're getting past it. I'm telling you, you could see within 2 to 3 years, Lewis Dunk could not. I'm not saying he will, but he could move on. And I don't think he would move up. I think he would move sideways or down to a club that need him if we don't.
Do you know what? I could see him going.
Toby. Now, this for me is probably a worse take than Pascal Gross at right back. No offense, Tom. He will be a one club man. I think I agree with the Mark Noble comment. He will be the Mark Noble. He will stay here till he retires. I understand. I get where you're coming from, but there's a difference of being supporting a club and playing for the club for almost 11 years now, or whatever it is now. And
Lewis Dunk has been part of the foundations of the club through its progression from League Two to League One, certainly through to now. He has been the bedrock of that team.
Yeah, but
the only place I can see him going would be, and this would be right in the twilight of his career, right in the very dusk of his career, Crawley or Whitehawk. That sort of thing. He may trot out for a lower league team locally, but I cannot see him ever going anywhere in the league other than Brighton.
Here's the thing. No player, I'm telling you this as a fact, there is no player in the world that would absolutely love to have the I came from this club when it was in League Two trophy on their trophy cabinet, okay? That if we stop paying his wages, which he might not be you don't know where players' careers go, especially after injuries and stuff. Within 2 to 3 years, he could be too old for the pace of the Premier League, especially if we are challenging for things like Europe. If we're getting our head screws on, I love Lewis Dunk. Right now, I think he is the best English centre back in the league, in the world.
Yeah.
I think
I'll go along with that.
he goes first name on the England team sheet for me, but we've got a Palace fan in charge of England, so he's never going to get in there. But I'm telling you now, within 2 to 3 years, maybe a couple injuries or something, you could. There is always the possibility, and I'm just preparing Brighton fans for that because I would hate it. I would hate it as well, but I am preparing you for the potential.
I guess right. I guess in football, anything is always possible. So I do agree. Like if I take my Brighton tinted glasses off and my Lewis Dunk heart out of my chest, I agree that could happen. Because as you say, we are challenging for huge things. Me personally, for two more seasons, 3 more seasons, I would love Lewis Dunk to be the center and the heart of that, the man that leads us out for the first time in a European competition. I would absolutely love it. But I agree, yes, he could get injuries. He could come off the pace a little bit. But yeah, it's something that, as you say, Toby, you're preparing Brighton fans for it. I just wouldn't want to see it happen, and I hate talking about it because I love Lewis Dunk. I would stand in front of a bullet for Lewis Dunk.
The idea of Lewis Dunk playing for Sean Dyche just makes me feel quite sick.
Well, I know.
Why
I know
would he do that to himself?
I know you say that, but Benme and Tarkovsky aren't going to stay at Burnley forever. If Burnley go down, they're both going to go. If Lewis Dunk does lose the pace of the Premier League, I think that would suit him, to be honest. And I hate to say it.
You've raised a really good point there. You've raised a really good point in the fact that if we went down, that would be the only time I could see him going to another lower end Premier League club.
Agreed. Yeah, agreed.
But that would be the only, and I'm touching all sorts of wood here. I just can't see it. I can't see it at the moment. It's just not going to be. Oh God! Like I said, the idea of it just makes me feel quite dizzy.
Listen, that might be a stinky take. It might be a stinky take.
Imagine him going to Palace. Oh my God!
Oh, stop it!
He
Stop
wouldn't.
Why have you made that worse?
I quit.
Should we use the mention of Palace as a great segue, Joe?
There
Should we
go.
just end the show right here? Just leave it at
Okay.
that.
Right, boys. Right, let's bring it down a little bit, okay? Right, massive game tomorrow. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do it a little bit different today. I'm gonna start with predictions because I feel like they might get some decent talking points. So we'll start from the bottom. We'll go up to the top. Pete, what are we thinking? Are Brighton gonna beat Palace? Please tell me yes. Says it all. Says it all.
1-1. My prediction is 1-1. I think I'm going to do the worst thing in the world on an Albion podcast. I'm going to give Palace some credit. I think Patrick Vieira's got them playing good football and very difficult to beat football. Now, whatever happens with Ha tomorrow will be what it will be because he just seems to pop up against us. But he's had a crap season.
He's not about. He's in the AFCON combination.
Of course, he's at the AFCON. Oh, well, that's handy then. I might revise my prediction. No, I'll say 1-1. I think they've got Conor Gallagher, who is, like I say, taking my Brighton tinted specs off. Conor Gallagher's having a stormer of a season. Vieira's got them playing better football than they have done for a long time. But I think we are equally as capable, if not better. 1-1. Mopé scoring in the 90th minute and upset it. I think it's going to be a repeat of the game earlier in the season.
Cool. Right. Well, Toby, me and you watched that game on stream. I said we were going to go bottom upwards, but Toby, you look like you've got a lot to say about that.
Do you know what? I said in the group chat to you, Joe, yeah, Pete's a great lad. Get him on the podcast. He'll be a good lad. And he's come on and he's predicted a 1-1 with us scoring in the 90th minute. Get out of here. No,
it's the way we work. It's the way we do things.
I do agree with Pete in the sense that they are hard to beat. But no Zaha, I wonder if they won't have the same fight like on the pitch, when Zaha gets rolled up, I think his team are there to get him to use that in the right way. But there's no Zaha. I don't think they're going to be angry or anything for it. They're just going to see it as a game of football. I think the only two people on the pitch that take it personally would be Lewis Dunk or Wilfried Zaha. We've got to remember that we have Basuma at AFCON, so we don't have Basuma as well. So we are also our best player short, for example.
We're also Lewis Dunk short as well.
Apparently there was murmurs that he could be back, but I wouldn't start him.
He's not.
It's been confirmed this afternoon. He's not.
So what? Do you know what? I'm going to go outlandish for this one because I think we're going to beat him 4-0, mate.
Cool.
I can feel it in my heart. I don't know why, mate. I don't know why my loin's been tingling thinking about 4-0. I said 3-0 to myself. And I was like, nah, it can't be 3-0. It won't be 3-0. But 4-0, now that feels right.
Toby, mate, this is a PG podcast. You can't talk that sort of filth on this podcast. That is just too good. Aaron, Toby touched on the fact that he feels like Palace won't have the same fight that they normally do. You gave us a little bit of insight on the last podcast. So if you'd just like to repeat that.
So one of the guys I play football with, his brother's the Palace kitman. They know what it means. They know, they're not stupid. They know how much it means to the club and to the fans. So they will be absolutely buzzing off their tits at this. Doesn't matter though, because they're going to get smashed 5-0 and it's going to be a wonderful day. Up the Albion.
Oh, that's even better. Aaron, just try to top Toby. Lovely.
We're uploading this on the wrong website, boys.
Oh gosh, I'm not allowed on that other website. Right, Dan, we'll come to you for a prediction. You're following on from a 4-0 prediction and a 5-0 prediction. So yeah, are you going to bring that down a bit, or?
Yeah, not to the baddest point. I was looking at the previous results. Basically, we both had two very similar results, but different ways. So obviously, we won 3-2, they lost 3-2. So it's sort of one of those ones where you're looking, saying obviously they can concede goals, but also score them, and work the same for us. Yeah. I could see maybe 2-1. I'll go 2-1. I think we could probably just sneak it through. Maybe last minute winner. Crowd goes mental.
2-1 to
Palace fans are crying.
Yeah.
Of course, yeah.
Oh yeah.
If I said Palace, I would be off this podcast so quickly I wouldn't notice. I'd be sat here talking to myself.
I've got the kick button ready to go.
I have to say I can see definitely tomorrow, Mopay popping up with the ears and the. Can you hear me?
Oh yeah.
That's going to happen. He will score and he will give it everything at the Palace fans tomorrow.
Hopefully.
In the last minute, I think we're all fairly there with the last minute thing, aren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll score a fourth in the 90th minute. Yeah. Bobby Sanchez comes up for a corner.
I think it's going to be a lot closer. Yeah, I think it's going to be a lot closer than what Toby and Aaron have said. Although I would absolutely love it if we see a 4 or a 5-0 win. Oh, Aaron's left us. He probably lost internet connection. But as you said, Dan, they concede goals, but they can score goals. They have been adjusting to life without Zaha because he's gone missing this season. He's absolutely atrocious.
Put him on the back of the milk carton, mate.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, even Palace fans want shot of him, so it's a big telling thing when they want their club legend gone out of the club.
Do you know what? It's true because as I have said on the podcast before, I was behind enemy lines for their game against Manchester United at Old Trafford, and sitting in with all the Palace fans, they really don't like it when he throws his toys out the pram, which by the way, I think Zaha does every game. He did against United, he did against Chelsea, he always does against us.
He doesn't like getting kicked.
Bitch.
He is. Aaron's back, by the way, if you didn't notice.
Yeah, hi.
For a prediction, Sorry, go on, Aaron.
In all seriousness, tomorrow is the one we always look for when the fixtures come out. It's the one that really does define how we look at the season, in my opinion. Because if people don't know, my hatred for Palace runs deep, very deep, and I absolutely hate it when we play them for numerous reasons. The fact is, I get more nervous than I ever do at any game. Even when playing a cup final, I never feel that nervous. And it's just so much unity riding on it. Yeah, it's going to be big tomorrow. It's going to be big. It's going to be, in all seriousness, it's not going to be an easy game. It's not going to be 5-0. It's not going to be 4-0. It's going to be, it's going to be tight. It's going to be scrappy. And yeah, I can't wait. Sorry, that's my last bit on it. I do have to go, unfortunately, chaps. But it's been a pleasure.
All right, mate. No worries.
Nice to meet you.
Lovely to have you join us. And we'll chat to you soon, bud.
Yes, but bye.
Take care.
Enjoy. Bye. So yeah, I think I'll finally give my prediction. I've tried to give it about 4 times, but we start talking about other things.
Let me stop you right there, Joe.
So Dan, you mentioned obviously they score a lot of goals. We score a lot of goals, but have been conceding a little bit of late, especially against Everton. Didn't look too promising when we were scoring and they were scoring, and that was the longest 10 minutes of my life, by the way, at the end of that game. So let's go for a prediction. I do think it's going to be really tough, really tight game. Let's go for another 3-2, lads. I think it's going to be 2-2 going into the 85th minute region. And as you say, Pete, Neil Maupay is going to pop up and give it large to those Palace fans. And I just can't wait for it.
It's going to be disgusting. It's going to be disgusting.
I've said it a few times, but if you don't know, I am joining the North Stand crew, which is going to be great. My first game in the North Stand as a season ticket holder. So yeah, I'm really buzzing for that one. And I'm hoping for limbs. Let's do it.
Hopefully I'll catch you and we can get a little vlog bit beforehand as well, because I'm in the North Stand, so I'll try and meet up.
I'm going to revise my prediction on the basis that it is at home. So I'm going to go 2-1. I'm going to go 2-1 with a nicked goal in the last minute. I think, yeah, we've got the. It just depends on what defensive setup we go with tomorrow, how we replace Dunk, how we go about it. We are solid at the back regardless, but have we got enough? And in midfield, Basum's going to be a great big miss. Mwepu's out, so I see that we've brought Moises Caicedo back off loan.
That's right, yeah.
Loan. I wouldn't be surprised to see him play a part tomorrow. So it's just if we've got that same creativity that we need to sort of score those goals, it'll be a good game. I'm looking forward to it. I
think we definitely got enough to do it. It just, as we've said many times on this podcast, it depends on what Brighton and Hove Albion turn up. Because we do know that sometimes it isn't the best, especially me and Toby, as I say, we watched the away game at Palace on stream, and we did record it live as well, and we had some amazing reaction when Neil Maupay scored his little equaliser.
But about 3K people viewed it as well.
Yeah, we were dog shit that game.
Yes.
So hopefully not a repeat. And yeah, I'll go out and say that we've got more than enough. Defensively, Dan Burn and Veltman have been absolutely world class. Adam Webster's coming back, and we all know his capabilities. Cucurella looks well up for it. I absolutely love watching him and his little antics at the referees and his little smiles and smirks. It's brilliant. And
he's the next Bruno. He's the next Bruno, I think.
I really hope so. Really hope so. He's got such quality, and I'm so glad we've got him at the football club. So bring it on. And we'll see you all on the other side, as it were. So, yeah, cool. Anything to add, boys?
I'm not looking forward to the review of this game if we lose. Can we skip that one?
Yeah, I might be ill. We'll find out.
There might be a mysterious false positive on the old COVID lateral flows like Liverpool.
Oh dear. Yeah, maybe. We'll see.
Internet's down.
Sorry, Dan, I can't hear you, mate. No, I'm joking.
I think I'll have headed off to Shoosh that night. I think so.
Oh, you can join Aaron Connolly then.
Well, they're clearly missing out on a lot of money at the moment, so I think I need to do my part for the Albion and go to Shoosh. So that's I think I'll go and do that instead.
Wear your Aaron Connolly mask and you'll get a discount, I'm sure. Anyway, lads, it's have you all on. Thank you if you did listen to this all the way through. If you did join us live, I didn't see any comments on Twitter, so I don't think anyone watched it. But it was great to speak to you guys anyway. We'll chat to you all very soon. Up the Albion, stay safe, and see you on the other side. Bye bye.